T.I.'s son, King Harris, has been arrested after not appearing in court and some other things connected.
Trying to coddle him, let the man walk out, have some time to himself, sit down, soak it up, and come up with what he needs to do.
Yeah, so him being arrested isn't really like the shocker. It's him coming out and his, I guess, reaction to it, right? Because everybody's saying, King, you grew up privileged, bro. Why are you going down this path? Now he's talking about F the police, F12. So, it just...
The streets ain't talking about nothing else right now but the Harris family's nightmare. And this time, it's not about flashy chains or viral Instagram lives. It's about survival inside the coldest place imaginable. King Harris, the son of rap legend T.I. and Tiny, is laid up in intensive care after a savage prison attack that's got the whole world locked in. The reports spilling out sound less like prison drama and more like a gangland thriller straight out of a movie. According to insiders, King was jumped in his block so viciously that guards had to drag him away as chaos swallowed the deer. Witnesses claim the brawl wasn't random. It was a setup, a calculated move by inmates who already had their eyes on him. And for King, a kid used to cameras, fast cars, and Instagram lives, this was a brutal wake-up call that prison is a whole different battlefield. They say it started with words, quick disrespect in the chow hall, the kind of thing most inmates let slide. But when you're T's son, nothing is small. Every stare, every smack, every slip-up carries weight. The name that once opened doors outside the walls painted a target on his back inside them. By the time fists started flying, it was already too late. Multiple guys rushed him, stumping, swinging, leaving guards scrambling to regain control. By the time the dust settled, King was barely conscious. Reports say he was rushed straight to the prison infirmary, then transferred out to a nearby hospital ICU with broken ribs, heavy bruising, and a concussion. For his family, the nightmare wasn't just hearing about his arrest anymore. It was hearing that their son might not even make it out alive.
Steve Sadar was out to me looking to make a deal on behalf of T.I. and Tiny. And I told Steve Sadar that my clients want justice. So the deal involves Tiny and T.I. turning themselves in, admitting to the crime that they've committed, then fine, we got a deal. But if it does not, then I would prefer to have the investigators do their work and to bring criminal charges against Tiny and T.I.
His face swollen, body barely moving, and the whole prison erupting in a melee that left multiple inmates bruised and battered. This wasn't no random brawl. Whispers already say this was a calculated hit, and the reasons behind it might be uglier than anyone thought. The talk inside those Georgia prison walls is chilling. This wasn't about some petty beef or routine test of toughness. It was a targeted ambush designed to break him down. Some inmates allegedly set him up weeks in advance, plotting to humiliate him for what they saw as his constant flexing of wealth and privilege. Others claim it was meant as a brutal reminder that behind bars, your last name and your Instagram followers don't mean a thing. One former inmate broke it down simply. In here, weakness makes you pray. Respect is the only currency. And right now, King is learning that lesson the hardest way possible. As soon as the news broke, the internet exploded like wildfire. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. Every platform lit up with reactions. Some people genuinely shocked and praying for the young man. Others mocking him, saying things like, King finally met the real world and couldn't handle it. The split was sharp. While one side of the internet begged for grace, the other side treated the ICU reports like confirmation that all the warnings, all the viral clips, and all the reckless choices had finally caught up to him.
So the dynamics here are interesting, but I can't judge how the parenting is going, because everything that we've seen has been stuff that many of us would have said or similar if we saw our children do this. But I will say this. A lot of what's happening is because it's in the public. Like many children don't have to do this in the public.
That online divide only fueled the pressure on the Harris family, who insiders say are in full panic mode. T.I. reportedly hasn't slept since the attack, burning up phones with attorneys, politicians, even old rivals, anyone with a shred of influence inside the Georgia Department of Corrections. One Atlanta source even claimed T.I. is ready to sign NDAs, cut checks, or make promises he swore he'd never make again if it means pulling King out alive before another strike lands. Meanwhile, Tiny is said to be running her own war room. She's on calls with publicists, media allies, and lawyers, trying to shape the story before it spirals into something that stains a family forever. But behind the scenes, even their famously tight bond is cracking under the weight. Insiders whisper that the arguments behind closed doors are explosive, with each side pointing fingers, one blaming street image, the other blaming spoiled privilege, for how their son ended up in this nightmare.
I wouldn't have been able to do that if it wasn't for family. That does come with some, it's some adversity. There's some adversity to come with that. People get in your bed.
Yeah.
Friends close to family aren't sure if they're fighting for King's survival or just fighting each other. Either way, their son's life hangs in the balance while the very foundation of their marriage begins to shake. The unshakable Harris dynasty looks like it's unraveling under crisis. And this time, the stakes ain't about TV ratings, chart positions, or family pride. It's about life and death. What's making everything even murkier are the whispers flying in every direction. Some claim King got caught up in a contraband deal gone sideways, that he either refused to play ball or tried to finesse the wrong crew. And in prison, loyalty is the only real currency. One broken promise, one wrong look, and you can find yourself marked for destruction. Insiders tied to the investigation even claim King was lured into a specific corner of the prison where 3 men jumped him. But here's the eerie part. The surveillance cameras in that exact spot mysteriously went dark. The Department of Corrections insists it was nothing but a glitch, but nobody's buying that story. As one of T's old road managers put it bluntly, it's Georgia. Cameras break when they need to break. Now, while King's condition stays unstable, the Harris family's tensions boil hotter than ever, and fans haven't forgotten the warning signs that things were already fracturing. Like that infamous Falcons game months back, when T.I. was caught putting King in a headlock live on Instagram after yet another heated argument about his upbringing. To the outside world, it looked like a father trying to discipline his son. But to insiders, it was the first public crack in a family dynasty that's now threatening to collapse under the weight of its own chaos.
I graduated. That's the only good thing they posted of me going viral. I'm not on the media's good side. I don't know why, but it ain't.
The world saw T.I. shouting, "You are embarrassing yourself and your family," as security rushed in and Tiny tried calming things down. That clip felt like drama back then, but now it plays like foreshadowing, because this ambush inside prison proves things can go way lower than anyone imagined. King's not just sitting in a hospital bed fighting for his life. He's sitting at the center of a storm built on old scandals, new enemies, and the brutal rules of survival behind bars.
And you can, kind of woo-saw yourself outside of the public opinion.
His name supposedly showed up in a contraband ledger tied to a broken promise. And in prison, broken promises are paid back in blood. But the rabbit hole goes deeper because people ain't just talking about contraband. They are saying King's last name is a curse inside that system. The Harris family has always attracted attention, but this time it's toxic. Those old trafficking allegations surrounding T.I. and Tiny never really faded away, and King reportedly couldn't escape the shadow of them. Other inmates mocked him, calling him soft and saying the same scandals that haunted his parents now painted a target on him. Add that to his reputation for being loud, flashy, and acting like he was a star of the yard, and resentment built like dynamite just waiting for a spark. For some of the older prisoners, it wasn't even personal. It was symbolic. One correctional officer even admitted off the record that high-profile inmates like King become pawns in someone else's power struggle. You take down the famous one, you send a message to everybody else, a former Georgia inmate explained. And that's exactly what might have happened there. Meanwhile, T.I. and Tiny's relationship is buckling under the weight of this storm. Behind closed doors, sources say their arguments are volatile, Tiny blaming the system and outside influences, while T.I. insists discipline and connections are the only way out. Tiny wants a softer approach, painting their son as a victim of a broken justice system. T.I. is doubling down on force, politics, and high-powered phone calls. This divide isn't just straining their marriage, it's putting the entire Harris brand under microscope. One insider close to the couple said flat out, "This is worse than the lawsuits, worse than the reality TV fallout, worse than anything they've ever faced." And the more they scramble, the messier it gets. Family friends are torn on whether going public helps or hurts. Some warn that dragging the prison system through the mud will only make King a bigger target, while others say silence equals surrender, and the Harris name can't afford to look weak. Every leak, every Every anonymous tip, every whisper from a prison guard adds gasoline to a fire that's already blazing across social media. Fans are connecting dots between old scandals, resurfaced lawsuits, and now this ambush, painting a picture that might be even uglier than the family ever imagined. Let's not forget, this ain't King's first brush with controversy. People still remember his social media antics, calling out rivals, flexing with stacks of cash, and presenting himself as Atlanta's next wild card. On the outside, that was entertainment. But inside prison, the energy painted him as a target from day one. Other inmates reportedly laughed behind his back, saying he was acting like a gangster when everyone knew he'd grown up in luxury, surrounded by cameras and security. To them, he wasn't a threat. He was a spectacle, and eventually, a liability. Psychological warfare inside prison is just as deadly as physical blows. Every rumor, every stare, every whispered warning becomes a first step toward another ambush. And with King's privileged upbringing being common knowledge, he became the perfect punching bag for resentment. Private schools, reality TV shows, bodyguards, and access to lawyers most inmates can't dream of. Those details made him stand out like a neon target. Some inmates hated him for it. Others felt insulted by the way he tried to play tough. And a few simply saw him as a pawn in their own chess game. Either way, King's celebrity was turned against him. His fame became his weapon, but also his downfall. On the outside, the Harris family's empire is starting to tremble under the weight of this chaos. The other kids are being dragged into speculation, forced to walk through a minefield of messy paternity rumors and resurfaced disputes that were supposed to be buried years ago. The line between private heartbreak and public scandal is gone. Everything is spilling into the open, and the family can't control the narrative anymore. The same spotlight that once built their brand is now tearing it apart. And the emotional toll is savage. This isn't about a TV show cancellation, or an embarrassing viral clip, or even messy lawsuits. This is about their son's life and the family's legacy. Every headline makes things worse. Every whisper of betrayal adds a new layer of danger. And every public statement feels like another gamble that could backfire. The Harris family has always thrived on attention, but right now that attention feels like poison dripping on an open wound. The cold truth? The justice system doesn't bend for celebrity. It doesn't care how many records your dad sold or how many seasons your family starred on TV. Behind bars, fame doesn't make you untouchable. It makes you more exposed. It makes you a bargaining chip, a spectacle, a headline waiting to happen. And for King Harris, it's turning his last name into a liability that's threatening his survival. The prison ambush wasn't just one attack. It might be the opening chapter of a saga way darker than anyone realizes. Because now, people are asking whether King Harris is simply paying the price of arrogance, or if there's a deeper conspiracy at play. A deal gone wrong, enemies plotting in the shadows, and a system that's already failed him before he had a chance to grow up. And as the Harris family fights to pull strings and save their legacy, the question haunting everyone is simple but deadly. Is King just another casualty of fame colliding with reality? Or is it the first domino in a chain reaction that could blow the lid off secrets the family's been trying to bury for years? From the moment King Harris stepped behind those concrete walls, the countdown started. And now it feels like every move since has been building to this brutal climax. What's clear is that he wasn't just attacked for being himself. He was attacked for everything he represents. The Harris name, the scandals, the flashy lifestyle, the reality TV baggage. All of it painted him as a lightning rod for jealousy and resentment. Correctional officers admitted off the record that inmates like King don't just walk into prison, they walk into a storm. The second he entered that yard, he became a pawn in battles that had nothing to do with him personally, but everything to do with power, pride, and reputation. And when rivals wanted to send a message to him, to the other inmates, and to the world watching, King was a perfect target. Insiders point to how fast it spiraled out of control. One source who had served time in Georgia's system explained it best. When someone with headlines comes in, the sharks start circling. They want to break him, test him, or use him to score points. That's exactly what King faced. Whispers of a contraband deal gone wrong, mockery over his privileged upbringing, taunts tied to his parents' legal troubles. He was swimming with sharks from day one, and when the cameras mysteriously went dark during his ambush, it felt less like a fight and more like a setup. The trap sprung the perfect moment, leaving him blooded, unconscious, and in need of medical rescue. But the fists weren't the only weapons. The psychological blows might be even deadlier. Prison insiders say King was constantly warned to tone it down, to stop flexing, to stop playing the role of celebrity gangster. But he didn't listen. His attempts to stand on business only made him look softer to men who spent years mastering the code of survival. Respect isn't bought, it's owned, one ex-inmate said. And that rule has always been written in blood inside those walls. And with King not playing by those rules, he was always destined to get handled, and handled hard. On the outside, the fallout is shaking the Harris empire like never before. Lawyers are working overtime, trying to spin the story, pushing sympathetic narratives, and feeding friendly media outlets with excuses. Some insiders claim T.I. is preparing to drop bombshells about prison corruption, threatening to expose the system if his son isn't protected. Others say Tiny is quietly begging allies to frame King as a victim of a cool machine, not a reckless kid who played too tough. But no matter which strategy they choose, the family can't escape one reality. The world is watching, and every headline makes them look weaker. Even worse, the rest of the Harris kids are being dragged into the storm. Old rumors about family feuds, messy paternity questions, and past scandals are all resurfacing. Social feeds are flooded with speculation, connecting dots between everything the family's been through and this latest crisis. What should have been a private nightmare is now a public circus, and it's tearing them apart piece by piece. Friends close to the family say the emotional toll is worse than anything they've ever endured. Worse than lawsuits, worse than TV cancellations, even worse than that viral Falcons game headline. This isn't about entertainment anymore. It's about legacy, survival, and the family name itself. Zooming out, King's situation is exposing the cold truth that celebrity privilege doesn't hold weight behind bars. Fame doesn't shield you, it spotlights you. Money can't always protect you. Sometimes it paints you as prey. And family connections don't bend a justice system built on ruthless codes and silent rules. King Harris's high-profile status wasn't a shield. It was the very weapon used against him. He became the prize, the pawn, the bargaining chip. And his blood on the prison floor became the message rivals wanted the world to see. And that's what makes this story so much bigger than one attack. This isn't just about King fighting for his life in a hospital bed. It's about what comes next. If King lives, will he be able to survive the next setup waiting in the shadows? Will T's high-power connections buy him a lifeline, or just spark more enemies who see him as protected and privileged? Will Tiny's softer protective strategy work, or will it only make King look weaker in the eyes of men who play by a code of power and dominance? These questions hang over the Harris family like storm clouds, ready to boast. Some say this is karma, others say conspiracy, and a few whisper it's destiny, the unmasking of family that built itself on drama, wealth, and reputation. Whatever the truth, one fact is impossible to ignore. King Harris is now the face of a brutal reality check, a reminder that in prison, there are no TV edits, no Instagram filters, no security teams ready to save you. It's survival of the fittest, and every wrong move comes with a price. So here we are, watching almost in slow motion as the Harris dynasty faces its hardest test yet. The attack on King isn't just shaking their family, it's shaking the entire culture. And now everyone is asking, is this the downfall of a legacy, or the start of a redemption arc no one saw coming? Let us know what you think in the comments. Is King a victim of circumstance, or did his own choices make him a target? Could this ambush be the opening act of something even darker, secrets waiting to spill that could shatter the Harris empire for good? Drop your thought below, and don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and comment so you never miss the next chapter in this wild saga.